Welcome back. We're here to preview Saturday afternoon's Premier League match between Sunderland and West Ham. Once we'll start with the home side, still bottom of the table and still without a win.
Yeah, it's been a terrible start to the season for them, hasn't it? 3-0 losers at Manchester United last time out. To be fair, in the first half they matched United for long spells. United were a bit lacklustre. Sunderland didn't play particularly well, but they held United. It was that goal just before half-time from Memphis Depay that really killed them. That it completely changed the team talks. United came out a completely different team in the second half, and Rooney obviously got that goal in the opening stages of the second half to put the game to bed, really, because Sunderland, they're not going to come back from 2-0 down against Manchester United in this sort of form. In the end, Mata got that late goal to make it 3-0. Another convincing defeat for them. 4 defeats in a row now in all competitions, and it's hard to see a way out for them at the moment because defensively they're leaking goals left, right and centre. They aren't really scoring enough at the other end anyway, certainly not to counteract that defensive record they've got at the moment. So it's all doom and gloom for Sunderland at the moment. It's hard to see a way out for them because it's just been a terrible start to the season.
Yeah, you mentioned there, not being able to keep teams out. You look at someone, say, like Leicester, who are shipping quite a lot of goals as well, but they're scoring a lot as well, and that's something Sunderland aren't doing. They've just scored 6, conceded 16, which is an average of over 2 goals a game from Sunderland. It's just simply not good enough, and they certainly have to improve if they're going to have any chance of, getting away from the bottom of the table, because at the moment you'd say they do look far and away maybe the weakest team in the league. I'd say maybe Bournemouth, you could argue, are down there now, especially after Wilson's injury, and Newcastle, an encouraging point against Chelsea last time. And talking to Newcastle, North East rivals, 19th and 20th in the table, and they meet after the international break. Sunderland then play West Brom away in their next game after this. Then it's Newcastle at home. That's going to be such a big game, because even if, say, the two of them get the odd win here and there, they'll still be in and around the bottom 3 come that game. And that's going to be such a massive occasion, because, and the problem is, in recent years that game has been a kind of a big relegation clash, hasn't it? You remember last time Defoe scored that wonderful volley in the game at the Stadium of Light, and that is just going to be such a big game for them, because at the moment Sunderland look like they might need a derby victory or something like that to really get themselves going, because at the moment they just simply don't look good enough.
You mentioned Defoe there. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what Dick Advocaat does with him at the moment, because he admitted that he needs a change of formation to change his fortunes around for the team. He's saying they can't play with a single striker up front at the moment. At home in particular, they'll probably start playing with 2 strikers up front. I think Defoe against Tottenham quite recently had a really good game. He didn't get himself on the score sheet. They lost that match 1-0, but his movement was giving Tottenham defenders a lot of problems, and there's no doubt he's a lot better through the middle than he is out on the left. If he has his partner up front with him as well, it should give them more of a threat in the final third, and that, I think that could be really important for getting those goals that they're going to need to, if they keep on conceding goals. They haven't kept a clean sheet yet, and they need goals at the other end obviously to counteract that, and 2 up front could be the way to go for that. Advocaat's also said that the new signings haven't made much of a difference. I'm not sure that was a slight on the players themselves, or just a case of the fact that they spent a lot of money and results haven't really improved. I think the new signings have been among their better players. Toivonen's made a decent start, Lender's made a decent start, and Veer's had his moments as well. I think they've all played okay. Defensively is where the big problems lie. I think a change of formation, be interested to see how it works. I think it could be the right way to go. They certainly need to change something.
They do, and West Ham at home here is probably one of the hardest games you could have at the moment. West Ham, they've been doing so well away from home, but last time out they played Norwich. They were on a 3-game winning streak in the Premier League, and they, 2-2 draw at home to Norwich is a disappointing result for them. They would have gone into that game thinking, our home results haven't been as good this season, but Norwich at home, it's a very winnable game. They couldn't do that. 2-2 draw, and they had to rely on a really late goal from Kouyaté, and it was a really scrappy goal. But Norwich could have done a lot more to save that goal, and West Ham, to be honest, they could have easily lost that game. So it was disappointing for them, and maybe perhaps they were a bit tired. They played Leicester in the Capital One Cup in midweek and got taken to extra time, so perhaps they were a bit tired there. But yeah, a disappointing result, but they are still sitting 3rd, West Ham, and overall, considering the fixtures they've had, it's been a fantastic start.
Has been a brilliant start, and particularly away from home. I'm actually very interested to see how they do against a team they're expected to beat away from home, because so far 9 points from a possible 9 against Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City. Not even the most ardent West Ham fan would have seen that coming. They wouldn't have predicted it. It's been a magnificent start to the season, and similar, we've said it before, similar in the way to Palace, probably better set away from home. Some of their home results have been really disappointing, but on the road they've been fantastic so far, and they've got a tough run of fixtures coming up: Palace, Chelsea, Everton, Tottenham in 4 of their next 5 games. But against the big teams they seem to raise their game. Again, we come back to the home form, it hasn't really been good enough so far. Away form, they're not probably going to be able to get as many chances to counter-attack, get in the holes with Payet, who fancy his chances, Payet in particular, because he's had a fantastic start to the season, fantastic start to his West Ham career. He'll fancy his chances against this leaky Sunderland defence, but it'll be interesting to see if they play any different to how they have against the big teams, because they've had so much success in those games so far.
They have done, yeah. If you look at the attacking stats, they've got 15 goals in 7 games, West Ham. Only Leicester can match that, and Sunderland, like we've said, they've conceded more than anyone else with 16, so you've got the best attack against the worst defence. Do you see it just being a West Ham win?
I do, I think. I don't see it being a blowout. I think Sunderland will make a game of it. The results, though, you can't really back against them. The form book goes with West Ham. I'm going to go with West Ham as well. I think 2-0 winners.
2-0. I think it'll be a bit closer than that. I'm going to pick West Ham as well. I'm going to go 2-1. So both picking West Ham to win this one. Thanks for joining us.